Okay, so here we're going to take a look at a real-life example of a relationship hook that deals with before add relationship and after relationship add hook types. And the example is going to be very simple. So we have here a custom module called inventory, and what happens is that we can assign leads to that custom method. So once I assign a lead to this custom method, what we're going to do is we're going to check the name, the ID of that newly assigned lead, and we're going to check, does that lead have any users assigned to it? So if this specific lead has users that are assigned to it, what we're going to do is we're going to add those users to this unit of inventory. So basically we're checking, is there users assigned to this one? If there's users assigned to this lead, then we're assigning the users assigned to this lead to this unit of inventory, just to reiterate the point so it's crystal clear. And in any case, if it's not, you just need to realize how this methodology works high level to actually be able to use it for your own purposes. Okay, so the very first thing that we'll do is we'll register these logic hooks inside the logic hook file, which is located here. So we go to custom, extension, modules, module name, extension, logic hooks, and the name of the file is logichooks.php. If it doesn't exist, you need to create the files and the directories which you're not seeing in your folder structure. And here is the actual registration, you can say, of the logic hooks. So the very first thing we specify is the logic hook type. So it's going to be the before relationship add. And the second one is going to be after relationship add. And then we're specifying priority when it's going to fire, description, so something that we can basically read and understand, the location of the class that is going to be doing stuff for this relationship hook, the name of the class inside that file, and then the name of the method inside this class, which is inside this file. And here's the tricky part. So basically what we see here is these two separate logic hooks, but the thing that ties them together is going to be the location of the file. So we're dealing with the same file. The name of the class, as you can see, the name of the class matches here and here, but the difference is the name of the method. So this is the interesting part. So the method is different. So let's take a look at this file to make things crystal clear. So here's the name of the file. As you can see, the location here matches the location here. Here's the class, and here are the two methods, the first one and then the second one. And the reason why we specify the same class with two different methods is because we can share information between the two methods. Basically, we can define information here, which is going to be used here, which is very handy. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to execute the before relationship add method here, which has the following parameters. So we have bean, so this is the custom unit of custom module, which is a unit of inventory bean, the event, and the arguments. So the arguments is going to contain additional information to the bean. And in this case, what we're going to do is first we're going to check, is the newly assigned lead, so a newly assigned record type, a lead. So why we're doing that is because if we add, for example, a user here, or if we add, like if we had a bunch of more subpanels, every time you add a new record to this unit of inventory, it's going to fire this method. So me, I don't care about those other stuff that gets added. Me, I just want to deal with the new lead that gets added. So only if a lead gets assigned here, this is when it's going to fire it, to fire this logic here. And you don't want to overwhelm it, because if you have too much logic happening on the background, it's going to slow down your CRM. So it's better to just filter things like that. So the next thing that we do is after we've assigned, after we've made sure that it's a new lead that got added, we're going to extract the lead name, which is going to be contained in the arguments related ID. So the arguments related module specifies the type of record that was added, and the arguments related ID, the actual ID of the record that was added. And we're going to store this inside this property. So it's a custom property, that's why I put _C in this bean. So this stuff here is now going to be available in the next method. So now we move on to the next method. And what we're going to do is basically check once again that it's a lead that was added. And this part here is basically for a flag to prevent infinite loops. In this case, I don't think it's really necessary, but I added it just in case. And because once we start working with, for example, hooks that do saves, if you call a save hook within a save, like basically if you do like this, if you do bean, and then you do save, within the save hook, it's going to call that save hook again and again and again and cause an infinite loop unless you have a flag set like this. So right now I have a flag, simple name is basically insync _C. This is to make sure that it's custom. I set it to true. That means that right now it's set to true. So if we go again and look at this loop, this is going to be basically, it's not going to evaluate these, and it's not going to proceed further. So that's why we have the, anyway, it's just a hook. It's just a flag. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to check, is this property here, has it been set? So if this has been set, that means that we have a new lead to work with, and let's go work with that lead. So afterwards, what we're going to do is we're going to check what users are assigned to this lead. So if you remember, we're checking what users are assigned to this lead, and we do it by first instantiating an object of the leads class. Basically, we're creating a new leads bean, and for this bean, we're going to load the relationships. And the relationships that we load are related to this field. So this part may be a bit tricky, so I'm just going to explain it very quickly here. This information that is stored here, so when we're calling the load relationship, we must call the field name. We get it from the var defs, and we look for it under the fields section. So the thing that may be confusing, if you go to the fields, and this is what we take here, we take this. We do not take the relationship, we take this. Even though this matches this right now, it's not always the case. This does not always match this. Always take the field name, not this part or any of the other ones. So we're going to specify it here. Like that is going to basically allow us to pull records related to this specific bean, in this case leads, when it comes to this relationship. So leads that are users that are assigned to the leads. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to extract the user IDs that are assigned to this lead, and the way that we do it is we call this for each function, which is going to actually extract each of the users that are assigned to this lead. We're going to call them user, and we're going to fill up the users array by extracting the actual user ID and storing it in the users array. And the next thing that we do is if we have some users to work with, so if there are some users assigned to this specific lead, what we're going to do is we're going to call the load relationship method once again. But in this case, we're calling the relationship which is this relationship, so these users assigned to this unit of inventory. And the relationship name is un inventory _ users1. So for each of the users, so the users that we extracted here, the user IDs, we're going to call them assigned user ID. We're going to call the following method, which is basically this. So we call the bean, which is the inventory bean. We say this is the relationship name, and now we want to add a user to this, like related to this relationship, and so we're assigning that user ID to this unit of inventory. And let's see this in action. So basically right now there are no users assigned. We're going to select a user that I know for a fact has some users. We're going to assign a lead that I know for a fact has some users assigned to it. We're going to refresh the page, and we now see that these users are now assigned to this unit of inventory. Hopefully the video wasn't too confusing. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment question below. If you found the video at all helpful, please leave a like if you don't mind, and subscribe because I'll be making more of these in the future. Thank you.